Welcome to the On Purpose Leader podcast. I'm your host, Charles Clemons. Can you imagine facing combat, taking a group of people that you're leading into harm's way, making a split-second decision that can affect someone's life and their legacy? Well, our guest, Dennis Tucker, knows all about that. He served fearlessly in our armed forces. He pivoted from his military career to now serving in the community. So find out what are the things that motivate him and keeps him on purpose. Like, share, and subscribe to the On Purpose Leader podcast. Join us for this discussion.
This is the On Purpose Leader podcast. Step in the room, let the truth out last. We don't lead for the game, we need to give. Serving with intention, that's the way we live. On Purpose Leader podcast, press play. Little bit of courage in your day-to-day. Every single story.
Welcome, Dennis.
Thank you, brother C. Good to see you, bud.
Good to see you. Good to see you. Thanks for joining in this discussion, and been excited to have you come back in. We were talking not too long ago about our time at KGLH, the radio program, mental health conversation. A lot of people were impacted by what you shared about your life in military, your work with helping men and women not commit suicide. And we really wanted to dive deeper into your story. And I'm glad to have this conversation. I really appreciate you being here, brother. Can you take us back? Oh, yeah, no doubt. Tell us, what was it that led you into the military?
Interesting fun fact for me, I'm originally from Belize,
Okay.
right? Born and raised Belize. I moved to the United States when I was 8 years old. Went to elementary school, junior high, graduated high school, and I've always had a passion for serving. Always wanted to be in the military, didn't want to go to college. And so the hardest thing for me, if anybody out there knows anything about traditional island parents, Belizean parents, or parents in general, military is not first rate, right? It's not the first choice for your kids. And so the hardest thing for me was really having, at 17 years old, have my mom and dad sign that parental consent and say, hey, look, I'm going to do 3 years in the military. I think this is better served for me.
Wow.
And I wanted to get out. I lived in South Central Los Angeles, as you know, back in the 90s, heavily gang activity, drugs, things of that nature.
Wow.
I saw it. I didn't want to be part of it. And so for me, traveling the world was something that I always wanted to do. So what about killing two birds with one stone, so to speak, and just join the military, and I get to travel as well. And so 3 years for me led to re-enlisting. And after that, another re-enlistment. And then finally, 22 years later, 4 months and 27 days, I'm retired active duty, did all my time active, traveled the world 2 times over, had a lot of soldiers under my supervision.
Wow.
Deployed about 3 times during that 22 years. And then finally, as it come full circle, my last 7 years was in recruiting.
Wow.
Recruiting command. And because of recruiting command, I got to choose my duty station. And I said, if I was ever going to be a recruiter or a drill sergeant or a warrant officer, because at the time it was 9/11. The planes crashed and the Army was really recruiting heavily. Forces were getting deployed, as you know, and I volunteered to get deployed.
Wow.
The Army came back and said, no, we need 3 things. We need recruiters, we need warrant officers, and we need drill sergeants.
Wow.
I put all 3 packets in, and I said, whoever called me first, that's what I'll do. Recruiting command called me 2 weeks later. I did a telephonic interview, went to recruiting school Fort Jackson, South Carolina. And because I chose to be a recruiter, volunteered versus being voluntold.
All right.
I chose Los Angeles for my recruiting command.
Wow.
And so I get to recruit from the areas in and around LA County with the young men and women at this time. And so my last 7 years was in recruiting command.
Wow, that's amazing. Hearing your story and hearing the decisions you made along the way is fascinating. I'd like to dive in a bit deeper. First, when you mentioned that you had a mind and a heart for serving, and yet you knew your mom and dad may not have approved or been on board, what was it like walking through that process of first discovering this is for me, and then the people that are closest to you not really on board at first? Because for some people, and our show is called On Purpose Leader Podcast, many people don't live into their purpose because sometimes they just go along with what everybody else expects.
Exactly.
And mom and dad who've been there for you, ride or die, that had to be some kind of a pressure to have that conversation. So what was it that was in you that led you to be able to respectfully disagree and still pursue it?
That is an interesting question because it didn't come full circle until I got back from that deployment
Ah,
and I
well,
took leave and came home.
okay.
Right. And in my house where I lived, right, 2 bedroom, it was just my mom and dad, myself and my brother, and we shared a bunk bed.
Mm,
Well, my mom had that little apartment packed
wow.
as my welcome home from Desert Storm.
Wow.
But it came full circle for me because when I was a recruiter and understanding that I'm recruiting young African American men, young
Mm,
African American women, women,
yeah.
Latino men,
Yeah.
because in my opinion, the military helps everyone.
Mm,
It is an
mhm.
absolute, what I would call combat multiplier to anyone's life.
Wow.
Whether you're talking about financially, whether you're talking about learning a skill,
Mhm.
mastering that skill in what they call MOSs or military occupational specialty,
Mhm.
taking those specialties and transitioning out the military
Mm,
and building on that subject matter expertise, that subject matter expert who you've become.
yeah.
So yes, it was tough for my mom and dad
Mm,
coming back.
mhm.
It was tough to say, as a 17-year-old young man graduating high school,
Mhm.
my son is going to basic training. And at the time, if you remember, back in
Mm,
September of 1990 was when I first joined.
wow. Yeah.
The United States was getting into combat, Desert Storm.
That's a storm. That's right. That was the
And
time.
so while I was in basic, combat was going on or
Mm,
being initiated or started.
wow.
And so I graduated in December. I went to Fort Benning, Georgia. We did our training there in Georgia as well. And then I was boots on the ground with my unit, embedded
Mm,
with my unit.
wow.
My first unit was in Desert Storm.
Mm,
And I remember vividly, if anyone is sitting here in front of you and telling you combat is not scary, they're not being true to themselves.
yeah.
Because I was scared,
Yeah.
but I understood very quickly to survive,
Mm,
be a master, and learn your job.
wow. Wow.
Because you're not just survival as an individual, it's a collective effort, it's a team.
Yeah, that's right.
So yes, I had my staff sergeant who was in charge, I had a couple of E5 sergeants, but learning as a private E2 in the military, learning and mastering my job and understanding that I added value to that group and that team, and that collectively would have led through my staff sergeant's leadership, us getting back home safely.
Yeah.
And even when I was deployed, I said, if I was to ever be in my staff sergeant's shoes where I get to lead troops,
Yeah.
this is what I would do. This is what I wouldn't do.
Mm,
You learn. You pick and choose who your leaders are. You can't pick and choose who your leaders are, but you learn from
Learn from
both
it.
sides.
Yeah.
Good, bad, and indifferent. And that is what sort of molded me into a leader in the military.
Wow. Wow. You've given us a lot to think about and process. And I'm excited to hear that the spirit you had in military service when you mentioned about learning a variety of occupations and specialties, when you mentioned MOS and how taken seriously, the serviceman or woman can really develop as a person
Yes.
and then collectively develop as a team.
As a team.
And I appreciate also your honesty that facing combat and the fear was a real thing. Sometimes with movies and TV shows, people kind of minimize the threat of going into harm's way.
Yes.
You actually in real life experienced it. And we were talking earlier, Mike Tyson's quote, everybody's got a plan till they get punched in the face,
Yes.
and that's so true. That said, we thank God that you served and you served with others. And at the same time, you did face down some fears. So my next couple of questions is this. What is it that people don't get about actually serving in the military, including the potential that you may actually be called to put your life in harm's way or pay the ultimate sacrifice? I know we're kind of diving deep early on.
Yes.
What do we don't get? What is something you would say in regards to the great possibilities to grow in a career and grow together and to be on that mission together and support. And at the same time, the great responsibility, like, hey, this could go this way. And if it does, we're going to train for it. And like you say, you're learning as you go so that when your job took you to those places, you had a degree of training to fall back on.
For sure.
And without a doubt, your faith in God and your teammates with you. So that's a lot of questions, but what are your thoughts as to what I just asked?
Having recruited here in Los Angeles, and I'll sort of start with most recent and go back.
Okay.
Having recruited here in Los Angeles, I've learned a couple things
Mm.
just by interfacing or interacting with parents.
Yeah.
Most Black people
Mm.
and Latinos
Mm.
don't want their kids to join the military.
Mm. Okay.
And I think
Yeah.
that's because they don't understand what the military can give
Mm.
as far as support,
Uh,
as far as resiliency, as
Mm.
far as building a man,
yeah.
cultivating manhood,
Building them up. Yeah.
building him up,
Yeah.
as far as independence,
Mm.
as far as financial literacy,
Wow.
as far as employment.
Yeah.
Most mom and dads will tell you, I want my son to graduate high school and maybe go 4 years to college. Totally agree with that. Nothing wrong
Sure,
with that,
Sure.
right? What happens after 4 years of college?
If that's not
He
a
or she
career.
probably has about $200,000 in debt if they
Mm.
don't have a scholarship,
Bingo.
right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That probably falls on mom and dad.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah.
most of us are working class people.
Mm.
We're not born with silver spoons in our mouths
Oh yeah.
and can just wipe out $200 in debt just that quick.
Yeah.
We pay payments every month,
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
right?
That's true.
The Army can wipe those
Mm.
with the loan repayment plan. You can join on the loan repayment plan,
Mm.
right?
Right on.
I personally joined the Army because I wanted to travel.
Mm.
During my time in the military, I learned very quickly this is way bigger than traveling.
Mm.
This is about resiliency, building manhood,
Yeah.
having my own paycheck every
Mm.
2 weeks,
Yeah.
right? Paying my own bills. This is about independence,
Yeah.
learning how to pay my car note
Yeah.
and having the insurance and things like that.
Yeah.
Most people don't want their kids to even leave Los Angeles,
Yeah. Yeah.
much less think about go to basic training,
Mm.
be stationed somewhere across the
Yeah.
world in Korea,
Yeah.
in Japan, in Germany.
Yeah.
How
Wow.
about going to those places and learning a language,
Wow.
learning the culture,
Culture.
learning
foods.
eating foods,
Yeah.
learning
Experience of things.
different experiences.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you do that with your
Mm.
band of brothers or sisters in the military
Mm.
because
Yeah.
they have loved ones at home too that misses.
That's right. That's right.
But there's always a phone.
Yeah.
There's always emails.
That's right.
There's FaceTime.
Yeah.
You can talk to mom every day from Germany.
Wow. That's right.
Right. You know, it
know.
doesn't stop. What we do in
Mm.
our day-to-day lives here in
Yeah.
Los Angeles doesn't
Yeah,
stop.
That's right.
We're talking about building a young 18-year-old young man or woman.
That's
And they
right.
don't have to serve 22 years like me. They can do 3 years and have all the benefits
Yeah.
that's afforded to them
Yeah.
by the military
Yeah.
just from their service.
Wow. And leave with skill sets.
And leave with a skill set.
Yeah.
right?
And greater
And
character.
so just think about it, right?
Yeah.
Even that young man and woman at 21 years old after they've done
Yeah.
their years in the military.
Yeah.
Or I'll even go further. Let's say that young man or woman goes to college.
Yeah. Wow.
So now he or she is about 21, 22.
Mm-hmm.
Even that 22-year-old
Wow.
does 3 years, 4 years.
Yeah.
They're still
Wow.
ready for the world
Bingo.
at 22, 26. But now they have skills
Skills. Yeah.
that employers want to hire
Yes. That's right.
versus their counterparts that
Uh-huh.
went to college with them
Yeah.
and was looking for a job.
And not proven in their
And not
skills or
proving
character.
Any
necessarily.
skills they don't have.
Yeah.
All they have is a college degree.
Yeah.
Well, I got a college degree too. Plus, oh, by the way, sir, ma'am,
Yeah.
I've done 4 years in the military.
Mm.
I'm a communications expert. I used to.
Yeah.
I'm an MP
Yeah.
or I'm a cook.
Yeah.
If you want to expand on your culinary skills,
Yeah.
and so now I am more marketable, or he or she is more marketable than
Bingo.
that peer that
Yeah.
they went to college. Nothing. I'm not taking
Sure.
anything
Yeah.
away from that young
Yeah.
lady or that
Mm.
man that went to
Sure.
college. But now we're talking about combat multipliers,
Ooh.
things that's going to set you out above your peers.
Well, the peers. Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
It's still a marketing world out there.
Mm-hmm.
And what better way to market your son? Now, here's the downside, folks. I'll be
Sure.
the first to tell you.
Sure.
All branches deploy.
Mm. That's
Not just the Army or the Marines, because
Across the
back
board.
when I recruited, that was a stigma.
yeah.
All 4 branches, to include the Coast Guard,
Yeah.
deploys.
That's part of it.
Right.
Yeah.
So let me put that out there to the audience, because a lot of
Yeah. Please do. Yeah.
men and women and parents think, no, join the Air Force or the Navy because they don't deploy.
Yeah. We've heard that. They do too.
All branches, folks,
Yeah.
deploy in some way, shape, or fashion.
Mm.
Because that ship that's in the middle of the Yemen,
Yeah.
that's a ship that's deployed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. They have service members on that ship, and that's their mission.
Yeah.
peacekeeping or not, they're still deployed and they're still gone from their families,
Wow.
right?
Wow.
So just to kind of summarize, I think for me, and one of the big things is leadership.
Okay. Yeah.
And you cultivate your leadership as you build years in the military. That leadership is cultivated through
Yeah.
the service members you serve alongside, the soldiers you supervise, your different assignments in the military world, good, bad, or indifferent, whether that's in the medical field, in the combat arms field, in the MP field, in the culinary field. You learn from your different MOSs.
Learn from all.
And you learn from all.
Wow.
You get promoted, you move up, different levels of responsibility. No different from corporate America. You started out as a, let's say, talent acquisition specialist, and now you're a manager, and now you're a director, and now you're a deputy officer.
Wow.
Right? Different levels of leadership, more years under your belt, more people to supervise, more equipment to be in charge of.
That's awesome. I'm hearing over time that body of work and that leadership development that's happening from what you're learning from instruction and practicing it within your area of service.
Yes, sir.
Is building you up. And thanks for dispelling that as to what branches are deployed, which ones aren't. You were sharing about just seeing the world. And as you were describing how your experience in the military really broadened you, gave you a bigger perspective on life. Can you share some of the places that you've been that when you think about, it might be a funny memory, happy memory, or even something that was kind of blew your mind? Any places that you went to that you had never dreamt of going to that military service afforded that for you?
Sure thing. 2 places I was stationed overseas.
Wow.
Stationed in Korea twice.
Where? Okay.
In 95, I went to Korea 95 to 96, and then I circled back to Korea in the late 2000s. And then after Korea, I went to Germany.
Germany, okay.
And so because Korea, funny story about Korea, I've always heard of monsoon season.
Okay.
Right? That's when it rains
a lot of rain.
all the time.
Yeah.
Well, this particular year, it rained a lot.
Okay.
Okay. And we were training in the field. I was field artillery, and we get down and dirty for those of those in the audience. Field artillery, these are your 13 Bravos. We shoot big guns, the tanks.
Okay.
And so, and that's the combat arms in the West. When I first joined, it was 13 Bravo. And so we're in the field, we're training, and it's raining, and I get out my gun, my weapon, and I jump off the vehicle, and I jump in mud that's up to my knees.
Wow.
And that was so funny because you can hardly walk.
Yeah.
You got mud all in your boots,
man.
all in your uniform. But that's part of the training. That's what makes you. That's what builds resiliency. That's what shows you. Don't get too comfy and cozy in your lifestyle, because when things hit rock bottom or you have adverse conditions, how will you adapt?
Wow.
Right? It was a great time.
Yeah.
It was a great time because it was part of my training. It's what built me.
Yeah.
And how you going to function in mud? Because when you go to combat, we're not going to have sunny skies,
right? Perfect conditions.
Iced teas, right? You're not going to eat four course meals. We're going to throw you a box of MREs. We're going to give you some water.
Wow.
And you make it work.
Make it do.
You make it work.
Yeah.
MREs, breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Wow.
Right? Korea was no different. Great time in Korea. It really added to who I am as an individual. And I learned very quickly that sometimes you're going to have peaches and cream, and sometimes you're just not.
Wow. Wow.
Right? Germany is such a fun duty station as well, because it's the gateway to so many countries.
Yeah.
I visited about 40 countries when I was stationed in Germany.
Wow.
And you can just hop on a train.
Wow.
Italy, Spain, Russia, Slovakia, Romania, Hungary. You know, just beautiful, beautiful places that you see on television. But you're in Germany. So what happens when you're stationed there for 2 years or 3 years?
Wow.
It's a 4-day weekend, guys. It's 4th of July. We're not just going to stay at the local duty station. Let's hop on a train. 4 or 5 of us, because we always traveled in teams. Now, that's the real thing that you learn too, right? You don't ever travel by yourself.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Ever.
Learn
From the time you're in basic training, you always have a battle buddy.
Yeah.
Right? And so that sort of is in the brain
thinking.
systems, right? And then that second nature, that correlates to when you're at your regular duty station. This is years in the military. After 10 plus years,
Yeah.
I've always had a battle buddy. We traveled in groups.
Somebody has your back and
Somebody
vice
has my
versa.
back, I have their
Yeah.
back.
Okay.
Things may not go so well when you're having fun. Car may break down.
Sure.
You know, you have someone that can always assist.
Wow. Wow. As you're describing these experiences and giving a picture in my mind of those life lessons that the military gave you, you describe one, hey, it's not always sunshine and rainbows in life. It's raining out here. We got to get out and move through the mud and make a pivot versus being bogged down. That's certainly a life skill and a leadership principle. But then this sense of collaboration.
For sure.
Working together with teams. Here in the West, we're used to doing things solo by ourselves, but companies, groups, nonprofits, churches, we do better and we go further together, working together than on our own. So when you think about, and in a little bit, I want to hear about your current work, what were the maybe one or two main principles that you took from your military career that, it worked here, it's proven, and I now use that over here and in my current situation, current work environment? What principle would you say is one that you always fall back on and it's been proven, battle tested through your lived experiences?
My time in the military taught me a couple of things,
Mm,
but I will narrow it down to one.
mm.
And those of folks that are listening that have served in the military, especially the Army, we have a principle called be, know, and do.
Be, know,
And do,
and do.
right? That's
Yeah.
one of the leadership principles within the Army regulation manual that talks about leadership.
Mm,
So for your audience, they'll know what I'm speaking of. And it's really simple.
mm,
Be where you're supposed to be.
mm. All right.
Know what you're supposed to know,
Mm-hmm.
and do what you're supposed to do.
Come on.
Pretty simple, be, know, and do. And that's at the lowest level
Mm,
and at the highest level. Everybody has a certain job.
Yeah.
Everybody has some duties and responsibilities. So
Yeah.
if you be where it's supposed to be on time.
be on time.
That's why most military folks don't like to be late. You say be there at 9, they're probably there at 8:30.
Mm,
They're looking at the area. They probably drove
mm,
the day before.
mm.
If they have to go downtown, if
Yeah.
they have to go to a certain area they haven't been,
Yeah.
they reconnaissance the area to see how far it is.
Yes,
So
sir.
be where you're supposed to
You're
be.
supposed to be. Yeah.
Know your duties and responsibilities,
Mm.
and especially if we're talking military,
Yeah.
because it is a difference between life and death.
Wow.
And folks that join the military understand.
Yeah.
That's why it's a volunteer force.
Yeah.
It wasn't back in the day when you were drafted.
Mm.
When I joined, it was voluntary.
Voluntary.
And most men and women, most young men and women that join the military, they already know that.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
And do what you're supposed to do.
Do what you're supposed to do.
Right? Be at the appropriate place.
Yeah.
Always do the right thing, even when folks aren't looking.
Integrity. Wow.
Integrity. Because in the military, believe it or not,
Yeah.
we're like cops.
Wow.
We're like first responders.
Mm-hmm.
We
Yeah.
wear 2 uniforms.
Yeah. Wow.
Because Brother Clemons is in the
Yeah.
military.
Yeah.
He wears that uniform.
Mm.
But if you live off base,
Mm-hmm.
you live with a bunch of civilian folks.
Yeah.
Just in that town that's military.
Yeah.
And so you do something adverse or out of pocket,
It affects
it affects everybody.
everybody.
And the first thing they're going to say is,
Mm.
oh, that's those Army guys. That's those Marine Corps guys. So now you're wearing 2 hats.
Yeah. Wow.
You're civilian, you're dad,
Mm.
but you're Colonel Clemons.
That's right. That's right. Representing.
You represent.
Yeah.
So you have to sort of understand the hats that you wear.
Mm.
It's not just about service to country.
Mm-hmm.
Most people join the military
Mm.
for a lot of reasons, financial, school debt, whatever
Yeah.
the case may be, better life,
Better life.
right? But as you mature,
Yeah. See, it's bigger.
the picture gets bigger
Yeah.
because somewhere along the way, Brother Clemens may not
Mhm.
have factored in,
Mhm.
oh, I kind of like this young lady that I'm
Mhm.
seeing.
Mhm.
She's in the military, I'm in the military, we're single.
Mm.
We might be a union.
That's
so
right.
now she gets to deploy and go to my next duty station with me if we get married.
That's right.
See, Brother Clemens
Taking the
joined
family.
as
Yeah.
a single guy.
Mm.
4 years down the road, now you're a married guy.
Married guy. Big difference.
Very big difference. So now it grows because
Mm.
she may be from upstate New York somewhere.
Yeah. Well,
You from South Central LA,
Yeah.
but we want to live in North Carolina where it's peaceful.
Yeah, very different
Very
environment.
different environment from where you came from or where she came from.
That's right, from the city.
But you
to the country.
understand
Mhm. Yeah.
you want to
Yeah.
live somewhere to grow, make your
Yeah.
family grow safe.
Safe.
So it's all the same concept.
Yeah.
The military is a great organization. I would tell
Mm.
for the listeners out there, I would say it's always on the table.
Mm.
It's always on the table.
Appreciate
Do not be one of those parents to tell your kid, your son and daughter,
Mm.
they can't join the military because
Mm.
just like
Yeah.
you know the golden rule, right?
Sure.
When you tell somebody they can't go this way,
They're gonna do it
they're
anyway.
gonna go. They're gonna do it anyway.
They're gonna do it anyway.
They're gonna do it anyway,
Yeah.
right? And so
Yeah.
have that conversation.
Yeah. Be open.
Be open to at
Yeah.
least have a conversation with
Mm.
your young man or your young daughter because that's a viable option.
I appreciate this conversation, and we've been having a good discussion. It dispels a lot of the myths about the military.
For sure.
And, you know, we're in an age where there's a lot of misinformation, and so sometimes people can hear something and run with it. And from your lived experience, as well as the actual policies that you function under in military, you're given some viable options. And you mentioned the school debt piece. That's a big thing for our young people who are going to college, and so I appreciate that. Let's pivot a bit towards the work you do now, and excited to hear you're making an impact with the community and in service of veterans and those who are houseless. Could you share a bit about what your current role is, and maybe even tie in how what you've lived through and done as an on-purpose leader, how it's affecting your community work now?
For sure. And thanks for asking. In my current role, I work at LA Metro. LA Metro is the third largest transportation agency in the United States.
Wow.
10 years ago, when I was hired at LA Metro, I ran a small veteran hiring initiative.
Mm.
I was hired there just specifically for that role. And ideally, because of my recruiting background, my job was to go on military bases, talk to young men and women in the National Guard, Army Reserve, Marine Corps bases, San Diego Navy bases, things of that nature, about what are you going to do after the military? Because LA Metro is hiring and we want you as a service member.
There you go.
So I utilized my recruiting background because I like to talk with people
Yeah.
to help them successfully transition.
Right on.
And these are young men and women after 2-3 years. Some of them 15, 20 plus years like myself, but most of them are young adults. These are the ones I want to really target because what happens, they're probably 24, 25 and can probably work at LA Metro for about another 20 years because it is a career. So allow me to help you transition into LA Metro. And how do I do that? I help tailor your resume.
Yeah.
We talk about how to effectively interview.
Wow. Okay.
Right? Because most service members don't interview well. I know this to be true.
Wow.
And so I utilize some of the best practices. These are classes that I give on National Guard and Army Reserve basis, how to tailor your resume.
Nice.
We don't want to hear about, we meaning corporate America and the HR people don't want to hear about your bronze medal
Yeah.
or your Army service medal or your Air Force medal or your Navy cross or how many deployments. How is that relevant to the job that you've applied for in any agency? Let's talk about that.
Wow. Okay.
Utilize a transferable skill, which is your lived experience in the military and leadership.
There you go.
Because at 24, I'm willing to bet you $100 that 24-year-old out of the Army or the Navy, the Air Force, the Marine Corps, or the Coast Guard has a lot more skills than that 24-year-old coming out of college. And so utilize those transferable skills, and the common denominator is leadership.
Leadership. That's right.
Every employer wants you to come work for them, to my military servicemen and women. You just have to be able to talk about it on that resume.
Wow. So we had this conversation about employment, And I'm glad to hear your work with LA Metro. And I'm thinking of young people I need to send in your direction, including in my family. Um, and there's been a lot of conversation about the truth of what's available.
Yes.
And you even shared your journey with your parents. God bless them, that you had a vision to pursue military service, and their perspective was a bit different. Supportive, though, in the same way parents here may have a myopic view of what life in military is,
Hmm.
and you're helping to broaden that. And then even further, LA Metro, and you're right, third largest in the country, a lot of opportunities.
For sure.
And this thing of employment, and for the listeners, the military is facing a high suicide rate,
Yes.
which is unfortunate to say the least. The great work that you're doing, and we thank God for you, brother, is that you're helping to provide resources to help bring that back. And a big part of it is helping men and women who were active in the military.
Yes.
And you described a financial downturn that many sometimes face, and they may not be in the best financial circumstances, and that having a job will help them to not only reintegrate into society, but kind of stabilize them. Could you walk us through that part of your work with those who sadly are considering suicide,
Hmm.
and more importantly, the solutions for it, and even the work you do now with veterans, with the community, to give people another way, a way to live, thrive. And can you walk us through that? Because I know there's a lot to that conversation.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, go, please share if you would, brother.
So, in my current role as the manager in talent development,
Mm,
that's the department I work in. I run a small program. Again, I started 10 years ago as the veteran hiring
mm.
manager,
Veteran hiring
right?
manager. Mm,
Which was specifically target audience veterans.
mm,
I've since built on that into a different community, which is unhoused.
mm.
And
Wow,
then even tapped into the justice impacted arena as well. So now I have
wow,
three very different underserved and underrepresented groups
wow.
that
Okay.
I recruit and what I call strategic hiring. I run a program
Wow.
for the strategic hiring initiative group at LA Metro.
Mm,
And I hire those three communities: justice impacted, unhoused or formerly
mm.
unhoused, and veterans.
Yeah.
That's still my foundation,
Mm,
veterans, and will continue to be. Oftentimes men and women in the military don't necessarily prepare themselves for transition.
mm, mm,
The military does a great job recruiting men and women into the military.
mm,
And just in the last few years, they understood that transition outside of the military was a problem.
mm.
And
Okay.
that was one of added the additives to suicide.
Wow. We're not ready to leave, and now we're here.
Well, not
Yeah.
only that,
Yeah.
not being employed outside the
Not,
military,
not being
because
employed.
the,
Yeah.
understand the military is a profession, a very extraordinary profession, a good one,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah.
And there are going to be some people in your audience that agree with
Mm,
that and some
mm,
that don't necessarily agree.
mm.
Again,
Yeah.
different strokes for different folks,
Gotcha.
right?
Yeah.
For me, it was a great experience
Yeah.
because I took from my bad leaders and my good leaders.
Mm,
But I understood at some point,
yeah.
like every service member is serving right now, at
Yeah.
some point, you're going to hang the boots up.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
time for you to exit stage left.
Yeah.
And the United States Army, Navy, Marine will say, "Thank you, Brother Clemens. You
Yeah.
did your time." They'll give you a
Appreciate you.
nice little plaque,
Yeah.
right? Depending on what your rank is, and they're gonna send you about your merry way.
Yeah. Wow.
So what Brother Clemens does
Yeah.
after post-military is totally on you.
Saw him.
But it all starts with you
Mm.
because you have to think, okay, I got 12 months left or
Mm.
18 months remaining on before I retire.
Mm.
I got a wife,
Mm.
I got 2 babies,
That's
I
right.
got 2 dogs, I got a
Mm.
house.
Yeah.
My wife got a car, I got a car.
Car payments. Yeah.
Those are still, you're going to see those every month. Those are your
Sure.
monthly due outs.
They're coming. Oh, yeah.
So what is Brother Clemens going to do
Mm.
or Brother Tucker going to do post-military?
Yeah.
And I think for me,
Yeah.
I'm a very big proponent of employment.
Mm.
I understand
Yeah.
suicide, you need resources to support folks that are thinking about suicide and suicide prevention, things like that.
Yeah.
I advocate,
Yeah.
and probably maybe one of few people on the employment side.
Yeah.
Because if a man or a woman has a job,
Yeah.
they have purpose.
They,
Every day.
It's every day.
Every day.
Getting up to do something that they love, or
I would much rather
Yeah.
say to you, man, I don't feel like going to work.
Yeah.
But in that same sentence, I can say, but I got a job.
But I got a job.
I gotta go to work.
That's right.
Right?
There you go.
So versus I don't have a job.
And then you're left to.
And then you're left, you still got those monthly due outs.
Yeah.
And you're chipping away at your savings that you've built.
And the pressure.
It's not that you're not looking for a job.
Yeah.
You're used to band of brothers and band of sisters when you were in the military. Nobody's helping you when you're back in LA now. Even though there's a bunch of military service members.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody's in their own lane doing their own thing.
Wow.
Right? They may say, hey, Brother Clemons, go over here and see this person. But they don't say, go see this person. Tell them I sent you. This is what you need. They owe me a favor.
Yeah.
Right?
There's just as I'm hearing this, that sense of isolation.
Yes.
You go from collaboration, team, support, resources, all of a sudden
to the individual.
It's all on you.
It's all on you.
Yeah.
And it was easier in the military because, you know, your wife knew. She probably, you know, took care of the payments and things like that. She know every 2 weeks you're going to get paid or once a month.
Clockwork.
Right? Every time. Because
Yeah.
you got about, you're enlisted indefinitely. So when you decide to get out is when you're going to get out.
Wow.
But that day is coming.
The day is coming.
And how we prepare. And the military hasn't done a great job over the last, I would say 10 years, because they kind of turned the tide or turned the corner over the last 10 years of helping you now transition out the military and getting you set up for success. They only started that a few years ago.
Wow.
And so the suicide rate, of course, will be high. Because let's think about the cost of living in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
It costs to live out here.
It does.
Especially if you live downtown or in the LA area.
Oh, yeah. You're gonna
Most smart people like yourself
go to
travel.
Yeah.
Right.
Commute.
Understand.
Got you. Yeah.
But the cost of living is high.
Yeah.
Whereas I was living in North Carolina, I was living on base.
Yeah.
It was safe. I didn't have to worry about anything where a roof will be over my head. But now you back in the city.
It's a fraction of the price going way out.
You back in the city.
My goodness.
And so for me, I always. So one of my jobs post-military, I was a veteran advisory commissioner for the 2nd District in LA County. My job, along with my other commissioner for veterans, and it was about 300,000 men and women in LA County. So a little backstory, there are 5 board of supervisors. Each supervisor has 2 veteran advisory commissioners that report to them. They have all these all these different areas that they cover, right?
Yeah.
And they have people like me that cover the specific area. My area was veterans.
Wow.
So myself and I served with the lieutenant colonel, and her and I served alongside. And so we served in the 2nd District.
Wow.
What I learned in LA County was Department of Mental Health likes to sort of push mental health. And that was a stigma for me because not every veteran has mental health.
That may not be the issue.
That may not be the issue.
Yeah.
How about you address his or her employment needs?
Bingo. Yeah.
And then we can come back and provide resources for, let's say they did have mental issues.
Yeah.
But not every veteran has the mental stigma. And I really talked about that on the commission.
Yeah.
Let's stop this nonsense about mental health for veterans.
Yeah. There you go.
Because Brother Clemons,
like I need a job.
Right. Although I deployed, I went to counseling because I'm a resilient leader. I understood that I need to talk about some of the things that I saw.
That's right.
And I understood when my wife told me, you yelled at me for no reason.
Yeah.
See, that was a trigger for me. So we get the help we need.
Yeah.
But every veteran don't have mental health issues.
That's right.
Every veteran need a job.
That's right. And got to provide for themselves.
Provide for themselves and or their families.
Whew, man.
And so for me, employment has always been that bridge for me.
Yeah.
And I'm a big proponent, not to knock the mental health thing,
Sure.
but I am more of an advocate for employment because it trickles into
Yeah.
a purpose.
Yeah.
And let me play off the on
Sure.
purpose
It's all good, bro.
podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
If a man or woman has a job, they have a purpose.
They got a purpose every day.
Every day.
Every day.
And that purpose is you take it behind the work, put in your hours,
Mhm.
and in 2 weeks you're gonna get a paycheck.
There you go.
Right? Put a little money aside, take a
Yeah.
little vacation down the road.
Yeah.
You can make sure the daycare and the kids'
That's
school
right.
clothes and lunch are paid.
The basics of life.
Basics of life.
Yeah. That's real. Yeah. Mhm.
Yes, we do have mental health issues in the military. But for me, I'm a proponent of employment.
Yeah.
And I think that adds to the conversation. Nobody wants to talk about
Yeah.
lack of employment
Yeah.
or the unemployment rate for veterans
Yeah. That's huge.
in LA County,
Mm.
in the state of California, in the various states around the world,
Yeah.
around in the United States,
Yeah.
right? That's a big deal.
Mhm.
That's why veterans lead to suicide because now, because he's underemployed
Yeah.
or not employed at all, he's still got a wife and kids at home.
Got that
Right.
policy. Is
The wife is talking to him in the air. What you gonna do? It affects his impact, his manhood, his
That's right.
resiliency.
That's right.
He don't have that band of brothers that's saying,
We got
"We
you.
got you, dog."
Yeah. We with you,
Or
man.
she doesn't have her sisters that say, "We got you, sis."
Yeah.
Right? It's real
That's real.
because he is used to band of brothers and teamwork, collaboration.
Yeah. Yeah.
You get out here in wherever parts of the world you live, it's you,
Mm-hmm.
and then your family's looking at you. You're this great leader that came out the middle. My baby did this.
Right.
Not even knowing the baby's struggling because he need a job.
And they put that expectation up
That
here.
expectation is there.
Yeah. You have
So-
to maintain that.
So now he's already mad because he don't have a job. His wife is
Acting
hey,
some kind
acting
of way.
some kind of way.
Yeah.
And then you got the mom and dad. That's my baby, and put you on this pedestal.
Yeah.
That's a lot of pressure.
Whole lot. And the bill
And
collectors,
the bill is knocking.
like, hey, those same bills.
They're knocking. So for me, I would say for me and to the viewers out there, really push employment. And to those, if I can speak just to
Yeah, go
employment a
ahead,
little
brother.
bit.
Speak, please do.
Employers, don't just say you want to hire veterans. Hire veterans.
Actually do it. Yeah.
Actually do it.
Yeah.
Have a person that served in the military, that's your veteran program manager, that can talk with these men and women and understand the lingo, what an MOS is, what a job is, how that correlates to hiring for an HR analyst or a stock clerk or a deputy chief or a director for security.
Those transferable
Have a
skills.
person to help you transfer those skills because your HR analysts don't know and understand military jargon.
Wow. So we're missing out.
You're missing out. You're missing
rich
out on
resources and people.
that population
Yeah.
that have the skills that can multiply your agency. Because
Wow.
they're going to come to work on time.
Mhm.
They don't mind working late.
That's
They don't
right.
mind working weekends. You can tell them exactly what to do and let them
Let them do their thing. Wow.
let them cook.
Brother.
Let them cook.
Yeah.
But don't just say you're going to hire veterans and then leave it up to some HR folks that don't know nothing about the military.
Yeah.
See, it's twofold.
Yeah.
But all that cultivates and adds to
Wow.
the suicide piece. But for me, it's about employment.
Employment.
And I will speak
Yeah.
that at the highest mountaintop because I think if we address that employment side,
It's going to deal with that.
it's going to deal with that other piece.
Yeah. You feel better about yourself. Yeah.
Purpose.
Right. Got a purpose every day. Wow. Brother Tucker, this is amazing and it's rich. To the viewer, we're going to make sure we have in the link one number for if someone is considering suicide, to have that there hotline number. But
sure.
if you felt comfortable with the LA Metro information, I'd be glad to pass that on our producer and put that in the link as well.
For sure. I can share, you mind if I share emails and, where they can connect with me? Because I know this is probably going to
Absolutely.
tap into a lot of
If
your audience.
email it to us
for
and
sure.
we'll put it out there. And just circling back to what you mentioned for the listener, the viewer, that there's so much truth to what you shared that when we have a sense of purpose, we want to live, we want to thrive, and work is integral to that. And yes, there are mental illness is out there, but we're not going to paint all the military career men and women that they're all PTSD.
That's so
and all.
unfair.
And it's almost like sometimes in society, it's easier to just kind of label somebody and then kind of turn away from it versus like, whoa, this person has had a standard of living they've served our country well, and now leaving the military, they're trying to pick up on a new phase of life. And
Yes.
so the work you're doing is commendable. It
Thank you,
calls
sir.
us to do the same as well. I like also what you mentioned about HR, that there's a lingo, a jargon, so that they understand that, hey, this person is bringing these skill sets that transfer from a military life
For sure.
to companies, to nonprofits, to what have you. You did mention, and if you wanted to circle back to this, it's fine. If not, that sense of desperation on the financial side, not mental side. So if I have a $250,000 policy, 500K policy, Brother Clemons comes out of serving, maybe I was lieutenant or colonel, and now my mortgage is due, and now we're about to be, going to foreclosure.
Yes.
My beloved is like, you ain't the man you used to be.
Exactly.
Then there might be not mental illness, but a temptation to check out and let that policy pay for my family. And that can happen to men and women. Do you want to speak to that a little bit? Or even what would you say? Let me ask this. What would you say to that brother or sister who's actually thinking about that? And if you wanted to speak to that, or even to that person, what would you say, brother?
That's a slippery slope.
I know I've just kind of sprung that on
And I
you.
know
Yeah.
because I've known some military men and women that I've served with that
I'm
have
sorry.
committed suicide.
I'm sorry, bro.
And so for me, I would have loved to them to talk with someone,
Okay.
but that statement in itself is very tricky because they prefer to talk with other military service members.
Okay. People
Right.
who understand what it's like.
Because it's all about
Yeah.
lived experiences.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Like
Unless you've been there, you don't know.
exactly.
Yeah.
And this is my problem with a lot
Okay.
of folks at the VA.
Mm.
The Veteran Affairs Office, and
Yeah.
I'm
That's all
I'm a
right.
veteran, so and I've served 22 plus years, so I can
Respect.
talk about this
Respect.
because I also served on the Veteran
Mm.
Oversight Engagement Board for the West LA VA, appointed by the Secretary of the VA.
Yeah.
And so I know all about the West LA VA, the
Yeah.
master plan of the VA, the
Yeah.
medicals at the VA, things of that nature.
Yeah.
My job was to make it a lot more accessible for veterans.
Yeah. Yeah.
They need to do a better job,
Mm. Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
with your service members. A
Yeah.
lot of the
Yeah.
people,
Yeah.
and I'm not taking anything away
That's
from
all right.
them. They
That's
got
all
the
right.
job, they hired,
Yeah.
but they don't have lived experiences.
They don't know.
They're civilians that work for the VA.
Yeah. That's different. You've lived
It's
this.
very different from Brother Clemens as Lieutenant
Yeah.
Colonel. Now he's a director at the VA.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
Brother Clemens know how to put on the boots and
Mm-hmm.
put the
Yeah.
pants on and go on a deployment and come back safe. And
Yeah.
he know how to
Yeah.
issue that bad news if he have to.
Yeah.
He knows what it's like. Whereas
Yeah.
most of the civilians that work at the VA, and we love them,
Yeah.
but they don't have lived experiences.
It's theory.
To us,
Yeah.
to them, we're just
Yeah.
okay, let me help this.
Yeah.
To your point from the last conversation we had,
Yeah.
he has mental health issues.
Just yeah.
And so
Yeah.
they just
See you as a diagnosis versus a comrade, a brother in arms, a
speak
sister.
to that veteran.
Yeah.
Get to know that veteran.
That's real. That's real.
Right. If you're my patient
Yeah. That's right.
and my job is to help you get better, I have to
Yeah.
know what
What's-
makes you tick.
What makes you tick? Yeah.
What's
That's real.
troubling you?
Yeah.
Let's get to the root of that. That may take 1, 2, maybe 20 sessions,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But it's my job ultimately to
Mm.
give you some fixes and some tools to say,
Yeah.
I need you to be aware of this.
That's good.
Right. I need you to be aware of this. And so to back to your question as far as what would I say to them? I would say that
Mm.
your life means something.
My man. Yes, sir.
Think about that first.
Yeah.
You got
Yeah.
kids, man.
That's what's up.
And I
That's-
know you think
Yes, sir.
ending it
Mm.
gonna solve that.
Yeah.
But don't put that on those kids' shoulders.
Mhm.
You got a wife.
Mhm.
You got a family that loves you.
Yeah.
Sis, don't do that,
Don't do that.
right? Don't take those pills, sis.
Mhm.
Not today,
Yeah.
right? Pick up the phone and just say, I need help because you're a resilient leader.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the classes we talk about and take in the military is
Yeah.
how to be a resilient leader.
Be a resilient leader.
And as much as you can talk about that in a classroom,
Mm,
that's learned on the battlefield, that's learned on your deployments, that's
mm,
learned on your different units you go to,
mm.
that's learned when you physically put
Yeah.
yourself through. Maybe let's say you want to run a marathon or something,
Mm,
you learn things about yourself,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's your resiliency kicking in.
Mm.
Think about it before you do that,
Think about
right?
it.
Because you're
Yeah.
somebody.
Yeah.
You just in a rut right now.
Mm.
Let's fix it.
Let's fix it. Yeah.
Let's fix it,
Yeah, man.
right?
Mm. Wow. Brother Tucker, this has been a powerful conversation. There's so much life lessons you've shared,
Yes, sir.
and not just for the viewer. I'll say this for me. In my life,
What can
and-
I ask? What
oh,
your
uh,
perception was of military men and women?
you,
And this is
yeah,
yeah.
thank you for asking that question back. I've had a respect for those in military. And I have to admit, it's been, and I appreciate the question, it's been varied
Uh-huh.
because in my family, we've had individuals served in most major wars, uncles that were in Korea,
Yes.
World War II, have nephews presently serving. And I had two brother-in-laws that when I was in high school, one actually was a staff sergeant, the other one was lieutenant. They talked me out of the military.
Yep.
And
As they should.
no disrespect. They said, Charles, you too rebellious.
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
You're too hard-headed. I don't think you make a good military. And that was maybe more so with me than military.
Uh-huh.
And then, as I shared earlier, some of the brothers from around the way served in Vietnam, some of my mentors who really wanted a life for me, they had mixed opinions. Some of them were like, yeah, the military is the way to go, Charles, and I could see you in there, maybe be a chaplain. Others, because of their experiences, were like, nah, Clemens, I don't think that's good for you. So it was always kind of a mixture.
Yes.
And now having adult children who are considered in the military, I'm grateful to hear the truth
Yes.
from your experience. I'm also grateful for the rich experiences that you've experienced,
Thank you,
my
sir.
family, loved ones, that you are a true solid brother, and I mean that. And also solution oriented too, because some of the brothers I grew up with around the way, they were like, Charles, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this.
Uh-huh.
Kind of like what you know. And they say, you got options. Because in the neighborhood I grew up, there was people on the block selling drugs, doing this and that. And if you were studious, you were kind of considered a nerd. It's
Yeah. So was I, by the way.
yeah, So the military seemed to be a doorway to a better life, depending on circumstances. At least that's what I was thinking. But today helps shed the light about the opportunities and also the realities, and also outside of military, hearing the transferred skills.
Yes, sir.
So I do believe, and I've seen this in my loved ones, that when you go through the crucible of a difficult time with a band of brothers or sisters and you let it shape your character, and then you have opportunities to grow and learn, those skills or subject matters that you become an expert in,
Yes.
they transfer in life. And so part of the conversation we're having here, I'm happy here now, is that your sense of purpose in the military impacts service to the community now, and it's still going. And I'll be sure to send some folks your way. Yeah, my man.
To your point,
Yes, sir.
I would even argue that
Mm.
because you're rebellious, you would be great for the military.
Right. I'll keep that in mind.
Right. No,
Yeah.
no, because
Mm.
and let me ask you this though.
Sure. Go right ahead, brother.
Obviously, you're a man of high faith.
I try.
You're a pastor.
I've served them.
Is-
That's what I'm chaplain.
You wanted to do that for a
Yes,
very
sir.
long
For
time.
some time. Yeah.
How long?
Since I was 21.
You'd have
Yeah.
been a great chaplain in the military.
Yeah. I've often thought about that.
Yeah, you could have been a great chaplain because, in my opinion, they don't have too many African American
Wow.
chaplains.
Okay. I didn't know. Huh?
And funny thing, I learned in my later years in the military, chaplains don't necessarily carry a weapon because I know that they have
So,
a service member like a bodyguard
like,
that's assigned
That's
to
assigned to them.
every chaplain.
mm,
He's the one that protects
gotcha.
both of you, even on deployment. So
Wow.
so you may be a chaplain,
Mm,
and your weapon is obviously the Bible or
Yeah.
the Quran or
sure.
whatever the good
Yeah.
book is that
That
whatever the
particular chaplain.
denomination he or
Mhm.
she is, right? That's your weapon.
Mm-hmm.
But you
Yeah.
have to realize you part of a bigger army.
Yeah, attached to it.
So
Yeah.
it's always about tactical presence.
Yeah.
And so you'll have a soldier assigned to you that's your chaplain's aide. He's the one that's the expert on the weapon, you know, things of that nature. And so that's kind of like your bodyguard. But you would do great. You would do great.
Appreciate that. I appreciate
The
that.
military is a great organization, extraordinary profession, in my opinion. It's a jump starter for a lot of, especially African American men and women.
Wow. Yeah.
And I see that in the communities, and I'll share this last story before I get
Go
off
right, go right ahead,
this
bro.
podcast. I remember I was recruiting in Long Beach one day, and I went to a parent's house, single mom, and the young lady was 18 years old. She was at Long Beach Poly, graduated from Long Beach Poly. And I went there, and she was 18. She didn't need a parental consent.
Wow.
The way I recruited, I always said, if a young person, 17 or 18, come to see me without their parents, that's not good recruiting.
Oh, okay.
I could have easily recruited that young lady, and she could have been on her merry way. I said, I want to sit down with your mom and dad.
The whole family. Yeah.
Right. To make sure they understand this is a decision. You want to kind of see where it goes. So I go to the house, and she has about 3 other siblings. Single mom. So it's a total of 4 kids and a mom.
Yeah.
And they live in this 2-bedroom. And we talk about, and she's like, well, why are you here? Right. So I already felt like I wasn't welcome.
Yeah.
We kind of navigate through that. Yeah. Not a big deal. I'm used to adverse conditions. This is no different. And the parent literally said before we even sat down, she ain't going nowhere. She gonna help me take care of these babies.
Wow. Decided for her from the jump. Yeah.
Not only that, but did you feel the impact of what she said? It was the 18-year-old's daughter responsibility to take care of her siblings.
Wow.
So as much as, and I didn't even get into when we talked in my office and on the school campus in front of her counselor, because I never talked to kids by themselves, that she wanted to get out that same environment.
That's right.
I want to see the world. I want to travel, but my mama ain't going to let me. I said, let me talk to her. But she was right. And that mom, and bless her heart, that young lady never joined. But I will tell you, the few years after I sort of visited the recruiting station that I supervised down in Long Beach, that young lady is still with mom today.
To this day.
To this day. And it's years later.
That's unfortunate.
Right? And that's an unfortunate story, right?
That's right.
I share that because a lot of, in the Black and Hispanic community, that's the mindset that we have. Wow. Single moms, especially.
Wow.
They don't want their kids to leave because it's their responsibility to take care of their siblings.
Ooh, that itself, I mean, that's an impactful story on several levels. And maybe that's an even larger discussion.
Right.
How kids are being parentified. Like, dad isn't here, so you're going to be the man of the house.
Exactly.
I'm alone, so you're second mama. And then what happens to their purpose?
It's a fascinating concept. And I learned that was a great recruiting lesson for me.
Wow.
Because it taught me how to, the next parent that I ran into that was in that situation.
Yeah. Wow.
Because I was stuck. And I'm not a person that gets stuck on words.
Yeah.
My thought process is pretty fluid. At least I think so. But at that point, I couldn't say anything to convince that mom, would you even consider it? She was
fixed.
She was fixed.
Like, this is what it's going to be.
She was fixed. Wow. And it's unfortunate.
Wow.
But I learned a bigger lesson in that. And I really thank her for it because I needed to see some of the roadblocks that I would encounter as a U.S. Army Black man that's recruiting and tried to maybe come to your house to recruit your son or your daughter.
Yeah.
And I recruited from various high schools.
Yeah.
Santa Monica High School, Poly, Long Beach.
Yeah.
Right? Very high schools that have money, kids that have money, parents that have money.
Yeah.
And I recruited successfully.
Wow. Thousand Oaks or that way, see me.
I recruited successfully here in LA County.
Wow.
And kids didn't necessarily need the military, but what was the big game back then? Call of Duty. So everybody think they can be
Call of Duty. Yeah, the
until they
game.
talk to me and I let them know, no,
No, like the real.
this is your skill set.
Yeah.
No.
Wow. Wow.
So that was my give back. And I think my military career came full circle, in my opinion, because I would have never thought graduating from Dorsey High School,
Yeah.
rhyme with my recruiter,
Yeah.
that I would be a recruiter and be a station commander in charge of recruiters.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed.
But I did. And so because I volunteered, I decided to come to, there's only 2 hard places to recruit from, 2 hard cities. You want to guess what they are?
LA and Chicago, or
Close. LA
Okay.
and
oh,
New York.
New York. Okay, that makes sense.
Two hardest places to
Wow.
recruit from, because everybody want to be in Hollywood out here,
Mm.
and everybody want to be in the music industry and
In New York.
be a rapper in New York.
Oh yeah, that's big.
And they don't qualify for either.
And trying. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, we want to thank you, Brother Tucker.
This is good, man. Thanks for having me.
Great conversation. We sure hope you have enjoyed this. I certainly have. Like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you at the next podcast.
Pull up a chair, pull up your plans, take a breath in. We build as we stand. Clock on the wall says hurry. Heart in my chest says wait. I've been learning how to carry more than my own weight. Decks like late night, scribbled in the margins. Vision in the middle of the chaos and the jargon. Leaders in the making, not chasing the throne. We're shaping up the future, one choice, one tone. This is the On Purpose Leader Podcast. Step in the room.